Start recording. So, welcome to the webinar here. We are going to be talking about selling garbage, garbage and recycled items. And I've done this a lot with my eBay, especially over the past year. I've gotten creative with a lot of things and have had a lot of fun with it. And so I just wanted to, I thought it would be fun to go in and just look at some of the stuff that can be here. Again, this may not be something that for you becomes a huge moneymaker. For some, it might. For most, it may not be huge. But what I hope is that it will at least get you thinking. That it will at least help you become more creative and recognize what is out there. And honestly, if you will get out there and just start looking at everything as though it is something that people will buy, that could sell on eBay, if you will think of things that way, you're going to see so much more. And your business is going to get so much bigger, and you will advance and you will grow. And some of these things you might try, there have been silly things I've done over the years, like a tumbleweed seed. I didn't make a ton out of that, but I did sell a tumbleweed seed and years ago, and that's something that, maybe we won't sell a whole lot of that, but doing it, just going through that activity, it's something that, to me, it showed me, wow, you really can sell just about anything. So we're going to look at a few ideas of garbage. Now, I'm going to throw a few thoughts out there just for you to think about while we start this, and then we're going to jump into to the details of it all. Okay. And as usual, what I normally do, I'm going to go in and look. I'm going to add items here, so I'll come into my eBay items to sell document, and I'm going to add to my list. If I see anything interesting, I'm going to go ahead and add it to the list here so that I have it documented, what I'm seeing, and if I think I can find something like that to add to my sales, I will. So I've created a spreadsheet just to document things so that when I have time someday to add more products to my business, I will. So some ideas: recycled foam, recycled bubble wrap or second-use bubble wrap, packing material, cardboard boxes, cardboard itself, toilet paper rolls, chewed gum. Yes, that's right. I've seen that kind of stuff sell on eBay. So those are some of the ideas here of literally people selling garbage on eBay and how that might be something that we could work with. Okay. Sally just came in. Welcome, Sally. Good to have you here. We're talking about selling garbage today. And I want everybody to just, and any time now, you can start putting in your thoughts and your ideas in here. It can be as silly or as disgusting as you think, but let's put some thoughts out there and let's see if there's anything to it. Okay. So I did a search for black dense foam because that was one of mine that I have a neighbor who throws this stuff out, and he's kind of a pack rat, and he's somebody who let me find a better one here, one of my older ones, but he has held on to this stuff quite a bit, uh, and gave me a bunch of it at one point. So here's one that we can look at. That's what I want to see right there. 87 of these things sold. All right, so let's just calculate that. 87 items sold. We can look at the list to see what they sold for. $8.97, most of them $8. Some of them at $5 or $6. And let's see, these are okay. These are offers, and some were accepted. These were accepted. These were declined. Okay. And what happened with this was when I noticed the value of it, when I noticed people were willing to pay more, I started raising the price. I initially was selling these things for $4 or $5 a piece, and then when I got an inkling, hey, maybe somebody will maybe somebody will actually pay a little more. So I put the price up. Sure enough, they paid more. And so I sold a lot of these at $8.97. And then when I got to the point where he didn't have very many to give me anymore, he wasn't using that brand of water softener. These come in the bottom of a water softener tank box. And when he switched to a different brand, he wasn't going to be able to provide me with these anymore. So now I only have a few. They don't come very often. So I put my price up even higher and set it at $15 or best offer. And sure enough, I sold one just the other day, and that was this one right up here. Well, there's one that sold for, look at that, $17.31. Crazy. So I've had a lot of fun with this. Have sold a lot of interesting junk things, garbage, essentially. I mean, this is something literally that he was throwing away, and also something that you might pull out of a recycle bin or something like that. Now, I'm not above dumpster diving myself, and when I talked to a buddy of mine who mentioned, who heard that I was selling this kind of stuff, he actually told me about a place up in Salt Lake that does foam. They manufacture the stuff, and said, I've gone up there and pulled stuff out of their dumpster before to use, and they throw full rolls of bubble wrap away and other stuff like that. So that's one of those things where you might want to go after hours. You would want to go after hours, and I hear in some places they actually have laws against dumpster diving, but fun idea, something that that can sometimes work. And then in my case with this one, this is just a neighbor of mine who has an item like that. I like to tell my neighbors and my friends and family what I do. And if you will let them know and let others hear about it and tell them that you do this kind of stuff, sometimes you might get a creative one like this gentleman who thinks, oh, well, they might be able to sell this or they might be able to sell that item. And and then they might bring something to you and say, hey, can you sell this? Okay. So let people know, network a little bit, and you never know what might happen, what might come of it. You might end up actually uh, getting something that has some value to it. Or it might be something that you're going to throw out that you don't need anymore. There's an interesting idea right there. A woman's bicycle seat. Well, maybe there's an old bike that somebody's thrown away. You could part it out. You could sell the pieces. Okay, I've sold several single bike pedals. I've sold a lot of single bike pedals. In fact, I've even sold a single training wheel just the other day. Actually, I just shipped it out today. So that's something that might work. Now, if we look at the used items, and that's one that I like to do, is if we look at used, that's where you're going to find more often the stuff that is the garbage. There's one right there. Dense foam packing blocks, 8 pieces, 35 inches by 16 inches by 1.5 to 2 inches. 8 pieces of packing material, $65. I mean, that's fantastic. The stuff is lightweight. It doesn't cost very much to ship it. So there's a great one that somebody sold. Just garbage. Here's another one. Same guy probably. They've got a resource. Somebody they know has this stuff that they throw out. It might be somebody who installs products like the water softeners, air conditioner units, or other big products that come in boxes with this kind of packing material. It might be from a store where they have to throw this kind of stuff away, and they might have something like that. So you could talk to anybody that works at Walmart, Ace, or grocery stores, or toy stores, or some other place, and just ask, hey, do you ever throw away bubble wrap or foam or other packing materials or stuff like that? I mean, we know we can get boxes from those places, so we don't have to buy boxes, right? All right. So we've got an idea here from Robert. Old quilts to be made into new quilts. Old material, right? So again, that's something that people might throw away. What I might do, in fact, I'm going to put a note in here for myself. um, about a friend of mine whose wife works at Walmart. And put a note there for me to talk to him. Okay. Uh, and I would, again, I'd recommend you do the same kind of thing. Let's write down these ideas as you have them. Okay, so let's look at this old quilt idea. Old quilt. And we want to look at used items only. There's 1,292 used items. And this is completed listings. Okay. So there's an old hand-stitched quilt. Thought that I had there was actually just material. Vintage cotton fabric, 6 pounds, old, unique, some feed sack blocks, quilt, so calico. And here's a feed sack. Well, they're talking about maybe using it for a feed sack. Well, what if somebody has old feed sacks that they're listing? That might be something that somebody else is interested in, right? And so that's an item that we could look for. Let's put in here old material. See what comes from that. There we've got an old shirt. Here's some interesting stuff. Primitive fall harvest decoration, fabric daisies, pumpkin, and old rusty tin can. Well, there's an idea right there. What about the tin can, right? How many of us throw out old cans that we're recycling? Now, again, this looks like a very old can. Well, it might not be our garbage, but it might be in a landfill somewhere. An old one that's been abandoned. It might be out on the desert somewhere. I've seen stuff like this out on the desert where people used to live and aren't living anymore. And so that's something that is a possibility. The old cans. That's something we might look up here. Buttons are an option. Here we've got vintage lot, fringe fabric. Ball tassel trim, so there's some trim fabric and tassels. Again, might be something that somebody else is throwing out. One of the easy ways to find items that are being given away or thrown out, you can go to yard sales at the end of the yard sale time. And a lot of times, the dregs of the yard sale, they don't want it. They don't know what to do with it. They've had their yard sale. They've got stuff left over, and they'll often give that stuff up. Okay, and so that's something that we can look at. All right, so old material, old tin cans. I hope somebody's taking notes here. We could put old cans. Let's do old cans plural. And do we see anything selling there? There's an old milk can. There's some old Campbell's soup cans. There's a refrigerant can. There's our little decoration there. Vintage Old South orange sections can label. That's just a label from an old can from the 50s. Okay. Again, a lot of this stuff is stuff that somebody might just throw away, but somebody else would be interested in maybe paying for it. Okay. And we're looking at a lot of vintage kind of stuff here, but there are other things that we can find that like my foam that's literally garbage, and I'll show you a few in a minute. All right, so we've got some other ideas here. Keep them coming as we continue looking at this. Let's see here. From Annette, we've got Grolsch. Beer bottles with swing top lids. Well, there you go. A lot of $4.99 plus shipping. Something that did sell. Here's a handle tap there that sold. Here's a $12.99 for 6 bottles. So that is something that there's another one right there. Okay. So and we could actually put in old bottles. There we go. There's a lot of old bottles right there that somebody sold. Okay. Here's a single old bottle that somebody sold. All right. What about toilet paper rolls? Do those sell? 100 empty toilet paper and paper towel rolls. And I have, oh goodness, 4,300 listings related to that. So let's see how many of those actually sold. 1,300 that sold. Look at that. 34 empty, clean cardboard paper or toilet paper rolls for crafting church school project. Okay. Now, I at one point did tell, excuse me, a neighbor, if they, a few of my neighbors, hey, if you have some of those as you're using up the toilet paper, send them to me. I was going to try listing them just for something to list. I decided against this one because of this right here and this right here. This is a charity project. You know, somebody's providing these, and uh, you know, they're selling them, but you're not going to make much on it. Uh, you know, unless people don't mind them being flattened, and then you can get a lot more in a small package. But there are several that are selling. You know, it's interesting to see that they actually do sell. Stainless steel double roll toilet paper dispenser available. Okay, you know, there's an item that you might find at a thrift store or maybe even make or something that's sold there. So vintage paper roll oil filter. Um, I mean, look at all this, guys. Look at how many of these are selling. It blows me away that people will buy that kind of stuff. Fun stuff. All right, another one from Annette. Annette, you're doing good. Keep it up. Anybody else? Throw some more ideas out here for me. So Annette put out here empty inkjet toner cartridges. Empty ink cartridges? Really? Would anybody buy that? Yes, they do. Look at that. So much that eBay's given us all of these suggestions to look at. A lot of 8 used Epson genuine ink cartridges. You know, some people might buy the cartridges and then refill them to use them on their printer. I don't know, you know, what else they're doing with them, but people will buy them. Here's empty cartridges, a lot of empty cartridges. Here's 248 empty ink cartridges for, Staples rewards. I didn't know Staples gave rewards for those. Interesting. So maybe that's why they're doing it. Somebody just gave away the secret right there. So maybe they're worth something to Staples or credit or something like that. I don't know. But look at how many of these listings, over 2,000 listings of empty ink cartridges. I mean, how many of those do you throw away? Rethink your garbage, guys. There really is some potential in some of these things. And if you're used to shipping things anyway, why not hold these aside until you've got 3 or 4 of them, or 5 or 10 or whatever, and list them on eBay and sell them. I've done that with mine, actually. I'd rather sell them and send them off to somebody who's going to use them than put them in the landfill. What other things are we putting in the landfill that we could sell? All right, so keep your ideas coming, guys. Let's think of something else here. Anything that, let's just go through and think of the things that you put in the recycle bin, or items that you might throw away. What about empty milk cartons? Is that something that will sell? Oh, look at that! Didn't expect those. 8 cartons. Really? Yeah, empty egg cartons. Okay. So here's traditional medicinals, organic mother's milk cartons plus, times 16 tea bags, plastic trifold empty chicken egg cartons, empty makeup cartons, right? Um, vintage dairy cartons. There's 30 more egg cartons. I mean, look at that. What if we just change this to empty cartons? 30 listings of empty cartons. We've got the eggs there. We've got a Harley Davidson cigarettes, empty, 2 empty cartons. Somebody paid for them. Somebody bought them. Military ammo cartons, cans, um, tube cartons, NOS, large, GT size, sweep value. I don't even know what that is. 20 pieces, empty tube cartons. Um, empty boxes, it looks like. Here's some more egg cartons, egg cartons, egg cartons. Another ammo can there. Lots of the egg cartons selling. Here's the tube cartons again. I'm curious about that. I got to go in and see what that is. Oh, they're electron tubes cartons. Interesting. So that's something you might pick up at a some kind of a estate sale or something like this. Who would have thought you could sell a bunch of empty makeup cartons? Right? Interesting. Another one that I that just came to mind that I'm going to do a search and show you is empty American, right there, American Girl empty box. 147 listings. Bitty Twins, Bitty Baby, American Girl, empty box dolls not included. They're empty boxes, guys. All right, these are empty boxes that people are selling on eBay, and this came to mind because my wife sold one the other day and blew her away too. In fact, we'll probably see it in here. It was how many we have? 147. Maybe we won't. It's been a few days. But here's an empty American Girl doll, empty American Girl doll, bunch of empty American Girl doll boxes. Look at that. One box, $9. Crazy. And these are just small boxes. These are for small accessories and things. And that's the one that, or the kind that my wife sold. Just one small little box. It was on a different account, so I don't know where it is. But look at all of these. Seriously, empty boxes. Now, if we put this, something's selling right now there. I don't know what that is, but if we do this on used and then we change it to just empty box, make sure, yep, used. There we've got Lionel trains, empty perfume bottles. How about this? Provocraft Cricket cartridge storage cases. These are things that cigar boxes. This is stuff that people might throw away, right? I had one there, but I've lost it. Forgot about it. So anyway, there's empty Apple iPhone box. All kinds of fun stuff. I mean, just amazing what you might be able to sell that you normally would throw away. Empty boxes, used empty boxes. So this isn't for for shipping or anything. 9,173 empty boxes sold on eBay in the past 2 or 3 months. Crazy stuff, right? What about the empty cartons? 30 listings of those that sold in the last few months. What about empty bottles? 11,200 items that have sold recently. What if we add plastic to that, empty plastic bottles? 1,139 empty plastic bottles that have sold on eBay. Okay, are these things that we have that we might throw away? Now, by the way, this I didn't. I changed it from used. Let's go back to used. So these here are all used items, pill boxes or pill bottles. Now, I use those for little survival kits and stuff. Put fire starter material in there and things. You know, that's something that I'll do with a box or a little bottle like that. Lots and lots of options, guys. Lots and lots of things that you can sell from recycled materials. Uh, and oh, look at that! Annette, you just put that in there just before I saw it, I guess. But the empty prescription bottles, you know, that we saw. All right, so here's another approach I took: recycled. So I'm going to put recycled in here. Just that's all I'm searching for is recycled. We're going to look at only used recycled items, and a lot of people are making purses out of recycled candy wrappers and such. What if we look at just sold listings? Those are the active listings. 3,500 recycled items. Now, a lot of these aren't, items that would necessarily be thrown away, but they're recycled material and stuff like that. There's some barnwood, distressed recycled items. But what I thought about this gentleman that gives me, there it is right there. This gentleman that gives me the foam often will bring me bubble wrap as well. It's, I use it to ship all my stuff, and it's been used once, works great. Well, look at that, 100 pieces of clear self-sealing bubble out pouches, 3/16 bubble wrap recycled. Now, I don't know for sure what their recycled details means. Does that mean that they have been used? They're clean. Tape strip is intact. Few of the bubbles may be flat from being used. So yeah, these are items that have been used. All right, been used once, and they're selling them. White bubble wrap, package padding, recycled, hand cut. There's another one that sold. Let's go down and just take a closer look at that. There we go. You know what? Where would you find something like this? Maybe somebody works in a clinic or a hospital. Maybe they throw this kind of stuff out all the time. And honestly, with a lot of these businesses, they've got to fill up a recycle bin or a compactor with all this stuff, and they're happy to be rid of it if you go in. I was even in a hospital once with my son, and there were a bunch of boxes sitting there, and we'd done eBay for years, and I saw those boxes and some bubble wrap, and I asked somebody about it there and said, well, can I take those? They said, yeah, sure. No problem, as long as they're empty. They don't care. They want them gone. So again, if you network with people, you find out what people do, and you network with them, you talk to them about what you do, and you ask them, hey, do you guys throw out boxes or packing material or foam or anything like that? Those are great sellers. I mean, those are things that will sell. Bags. I mean, look at this, little tiny bubble wrap bags and bubble bags. Now, this, I've done a search for recycled wrap and found all of these items. What if we did a recycled bag? Something else that this gentleman brings me a lot of times is some big Ziploc bags that they're larger Ziplocs that they'll have for me, or that he'll have sometimes. Uh, All right, so there's a few items and ideas of things that you can find from stuff that people are throwing out, recycling, and stuff like that that you can actually make a bit of money on. I've done it a lot. I have a newer one I'll show you here. I've just started a new listing to see if it's buried yet with my other listings, but this same gentleman brought me a different kind of foam that not quite as nice as the black dense foam that I have, but I thought, sure, I'll try it. We'll list it and see what happens. And there it is right there. And I've only had a few looks, 4-page views, one of those being mine probably, but a little different foam there, stuck together. But I thought, hey, let's try it. I've sold other garbage. Why not this one? And so this was one of the things that I was thinking of as I started putting together this webinar tonight was the fact that I had this item listed. So let's go back here. I want to look at just a couple other ideas here, and I hope this is giving you guys some inspiration. I hope you're recognizing some potential here. All right, used tubing is one that I wanted to look up. There's a lot of tubing benders and stuff like that. There you go. Fleet line gas tank filler, tube neck, an old Chevy thing. Again, we've talked about using old car parts and stuff before, but you could piece apart a car and make hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars from it. Hamster gerbil mice tubes, tunnels, accessories, and Sky Restaurant, 64 pieces. There's just different pieces of stuff put together. What if used hamster tubing? Let's just search for that one and look at that. Look at all those that have sold. I mean, this is just a bunch of elbows or half C shapes, right? Just miscellaneous parts and pieces. I mean, if you had something like that didn't have all the pieces and you wanted to throw it out or get rid of it, or somebody else wanted to throw it out or get rid of it, well, what if somebody would pay for it, right? It doesn't have to have all the pieces. Maybe they're going to take it and add it to other parts that they have and mix and match until they create something. There's one right there. So great ideas here. Again, this kind of stuff might be something that you find at the end of the day at a yard sale, and a lot of times people are happy to get rid of their yard sale stuff. And let me just show you an example. Actually, I wanted to just double check just for an extra little treat here. I heard my eBay there earlier, and let's go see what I sold just to kind of check it if it'll come up. It doesn't look like it's going to come up. All right, so there it goes. Waiting shipments. We'll go in and take a look at that, and then I wanted to Craigslist.org. All right, so go back here, and okay, it was one of my belt holster clips and stuff. All right, so go over here and let's search Craigslist for free yard sale. And I'm looking for free yard sale items. And there we are. Huge multifamily free stuff and yard sale. They've got free stuff as well as stuff for sale. And what I was wondering, a lot of times what I've seen with a yard sale is when they'll advertise a yard sale, they'll say everything free after 1 o'clock or after 2 o'clock or something like that. And what you might do is go around to some of these yard sales, and as you look at things and maybe pick up a few things that are worth grabbing, just mention to them, hey, are you going to get rid of this stuff after the day if it doesn't sell? Would you like me to come back and take things away for you that you don't want to deal with later? I'd be happy to do that for you. something like that. A lot of times, people at the end, when they're done with the yard sale, you just find out what time they're done, and they'll be thrilled to have you just take it all away. So again, one man's garbage is another man's treasure. One man's junk is another man's treasure. There are things out there that other people would throw away that you can actually make money on. And if you get thinking about it and you look at everything as a potential, then you'll find some that are actually beneficial, and you'll see some where you will actually see some pretty good returns on it. So I thank you all for joining here today. I'm going to go ahead and end this webinar here, and appreciate your attendance.